Yeah, we are flying high. Nothing like some Jim Jones. Throwback Jim Jones to get you to know what exactly is going on here. Welcome everybody to the Alpha Traders weekly conference call. It is November 8th. What a week behind us. What a week ahead of us. Oh my gosh. We were printing money last week, literal printing money. I hope that you guys followed our calls. Our win rate was off the charts. Anytime we can have a week like that, we're pretty happy. It kind of felt like it was August again. It was really, really nice. So just to give a quick recap, we came into the election. Monday was very much a rip show. Tuesday into the election was a rip show. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was a rip show. That's your weekly. That's the weekly recap. But seriously, if you actually look at the intraday 5-minute charts for SPX, you saw that it was a morning gap up into a fade after the first 20 to 30 minutes. Not a fade as in it dropped, but there were times where you could get short. They gapped up, sold the gap, and then a steady decline for the rest of the day until the last 5 minutes where they bought it up again, gap up, rinse and repeat 5 days straight. It was an unbelievable week. You guys can see for our results. I posted them online. I was just astonished as you were. I was $75,000 a week for me. And as a reminder and a disclaimer, remember that when I post those, that's just the position. Everybody's position size is different because everybody's account's different and everybody's risk tolerance is different. I was risk on hard for NVIDIA. That's where I made probably most of my money. I think I made $48,000 on NVIDIA this week. I had huge positions. The TA was great. Everything really, really, really came together. And it was just an amazing week. It felt good to have a week like that. It's been, it's been a tough couple months in the sense that we haven't had any real momentum. So like I said, it was great. I'm just changing the chart here. And wow. Anyways, so looking forward to this week, I always like doing the conference call after futures open. I think it's a great indicator of where we're going in the sense that it's not going to follow it verbatim, but there's a good, really, really tight correlation there between futures and the open. So I think we're going to gap up. I think we're going to be super strong. And a basic note, sorry, I forgot to, say this, but welcome to all the new members. We're so excited to have you guys here. We think that the education that we're going to be able to give you, especially on the fly, but also as I roll out content and roll out more content, you guys will get it on YouTube. You guys will get it in the Discord. I'll post it so you guys have it. Any new members, please read the onboarding and the welcome letters that you can find in chat, in Discord under the Welcome to Alpha Traders tab. It's just something to help and get you guys organized, and it's really good. Instead of saying, hey, what position are you in here? What position are you in there? What position are you in there? It just gives you an idea of how to prepare, and just gives you an idea of how I trade and how we move forward. Also, you guys will see one of the master traders. His name is Dr. Joshua. He's in here. He's a wealth of knowledge. The guy's been trading options for 10 years. He is super successful. I'm talking millions and millions of dollars. And it's taken him He's a slower mover than me. He does a different type of option strategy. He does a lot of stocks. He sells calls, sells puts. He does buy some exposure. He'll tell you that, but he really likes. He loves selling puts, especially in bull markets. It's a great way to create premium for yourself to pay for stocks that you like to buy. I think it's a great way to pay for positions that you really don't have to, after it's successful, you don't have to pay for anything. So, um, larger accounts can handle that. If you only have a $5,000 account, you're probably not going to be able to sell calls and puts right away. You're probably going to have to get up to 20, 25,000 at least. That way you can even do a small one, maybe like Neo, something that is super bullish. It's a super bullish long-term play, maybe Fastly, something in pins, something like that you can, because you need to cover that. Because if you fail, let's just say you sell a put, you're getting synthetically long and the market crashes and you're stuck in that sold put, you have to, and they exercise the option, you have to cover the 100 shares. So if you sell one put option, you have to cover 100 shares of, we'll say Neo at, making things up, $40. So you have to do the math on that. That's $4,000. So you have to have $4,000 in Neo, or 4,000 to cover, so that you can, excuse me, so you can buy the shares and then cover your call. Otherwise, they will do a margin call, and that is not pretty. You don't want that. But if you guys have questions, I know he's more than happy to answer. Great options trader. I'm so happy to have him in the system with us, because the guy, I've learned a ton from him. Very knowledgeable, works great for him. And if you look at both of us, we're a lot different, but we're doing the same thing. I'm more of a momentum trader. I'm looking for those calls and puts with exponential growth, defined risk, and not defined growth and profit in essence. And he's looking at it as, I'm going to sell that call or sell that put, and selling the put gets synthetically long, selling the call gets synthetically short. You're selling the put, so you don't, it's bullish, but you don't know, maybe you're not sure where it goes. Maybe, for example, he's excited about Square, which I am too. I think it's a great idea. He's going to sell the 190 puts, and he doesn't think it's going to get to 190. So that thing can go up to $225, and he's just collecting all of that premium. And then he's able to buy, he's able to buy Square shares for free, because you're collecting that premium, taking that premium in, you turn that around, you're buying the shares. So it's a great way to do it. There's so many different ways to do this, and I'm so happy that he's here to give a different viewpoint of what he sees. And I'm super excited that you guys get exposed to it as well. So as we look forward here, something that I wanted to touch on is the speed at which the room moves. Sometimes I'm blurting things out because speed is so important. When the way that I trade, momentum is turned at an instant. It's turned in a 5-minute candle, a 10-minute, 15-minute candle sometimes, and the speed has to come out. So you'll see me type a sentence, hit enter, type a sentence, hit enter, type a sentence, hit enter. Don't be intimidated by it. And I want to make sure that, I'm not trying to spam the room or anything of that nature. I'm trying to get my thoughts out as fast as they come, and I need them to be separate every single time, in the sense that you understand that each of these thoughts is separate, but based upon the same subject. Because if I write one big paragraph, nobody's going to be able to read all of that all at once. And if they do, I'm already on to the next thing. So just stick with it. If you have questions, please ask. I'm here to help. So are some of the other senior guys that are here, Captain and Switch. Those guys will help out as well, I'm sure. Then of course, I'm here and Dr. Joshua, and we'll lead you guys to hopefully the promised land. So looking ahead, we're gonna go to the SPYs here. I've mapped out a bunch of levels here, as I usually do, that especially in a bull market, really excited about SPY, really excited about just the market in general. A lot of people thought we were pulling back, and we'll get to Apple, but a learning for people that are newer to options and the way I trade, you have to understand sentiment. You need to understand volume, and the leading stock in the market is Apple. You really have FANG, but within that, it's Apple that you get the feel for what the market is doing. Everybody owns Apple. Anybody who has a 401k, or anybody that has a Roth IRA, anybody that has an employer-based 401k that they don't own individual shares, but they own ETFs and things like that. Every single time you check, aggressive, moderate, cash flow, whatever people have Apple. Apple shares are in every single portfolio. If you don't have Apple in your portfolio in some shape, way, or form in the terms of stock, I don't know why you wouldn't have Apple in your stock. It's great dividends. You just hold it. It'll go up. It's going to keep going up forever. It seems like, anyways. It'll probably be it'll get up to 400 or 500 probably again. And anyways, we'll get to Apple, but you'll see what I mean when I talk about Apple, about people thinking the market's going to pull back. It's not pulling back. This is risk on. And this is just shown by the SPYs. Futures here. This was a big line, 352.19. Futures already have it above that. Futures are already sitting at, I think, 340. I'm going to look here. I want to make sure I have it right for you. Futures are at 35.55 as of 10:01 Central Time. So you're already looking at an implied open of 355, which is well above this last piece of resistance here till we get up to all-time highs. You might see a little bit here at 356. I think we see all-time highs this week. I don't see where we would have a big pullback unless, something really, really something really big happens. There has to be something political, or there's no stimulus. Actually, I don't even know if the stimulus matters anymore, really. People are, they mentioned McConnell saying it's going to be lower. Market went down 12 points in about 2 minutes, and it was back up 12 points 5 minutes later. So I don't know that it matters that much. And when things like that happen, and all this presidential things, and, all things with Congress and runoffs, and the market's doing this, I don't know what else can hold it back. The only thing I could think of is, Biden says he's going to shut down the economy, just like Trump had to, so whatever you want to call it. That's obviously the only way for me to think that this is, risk off. You have the 8 and 21 day underneath it. It's a little extended, but I don't think it matters right now. It's flagging out on the daily. It's already started up here. It's going to be a gap up. We may hit 358 tomorrow if people are really on this train. And I think you see a lot of money that was on the sidelines coming back into play here. The money that missed this. And if you missed this run up and you never got back in, you had your chance in June. If you guys remember, this was rocky. You had to correct a little bit here. If you didn't get back in here or even here, then you lost, and your fund was upset. Your people that people have entrusted you with their money, they lost this whole rally. You might have caught a little bit here, blip there. But I think with this next rally, I think money on the sidelines, they saw this correction. They saw this pop up in October. They saw the September correction. They saw we came back, we got a little bit of juice, and they sold it off using the election as the excuse. And I think whoever is smart, Buffett, all these guys, they see this and they're like, well, it's go time. And there is SoftBank, everybody. This is go time. This is pushed to all-time highs and beyond. And this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun this week. So let's look at the Qs. And so you guys know, I don't like playing ETFs from the sense of actually options. If you want to play a leap on them, I think that's really good. You can play leaps on ETFs. It's a safe thing. It's slow moving. Sometimes they can be a little cheaper in the sense that over time, but from the how much volume it takes to move these things, and how much we have to move on this, and it doesn't even move that much up. I mean, this is a monster move, right? From, we'll call it the second down here. This is $30, but how often do you get that? You know what I mean? Usually it's choppy like this. You get a couple green days, you're up $5 or $6, and then, hey, we got up, we're up $10, and then you're dropping back down another $10. Like I don't think the movement's there, but it's important to know these things when you are going into individual names, because if SPX is moving up and the Qs are moving up, or you have sentiment that it's very bullish, you can take an idea and apply it to the individual stock. So now you're looking at the next level. It's called layered trading. You take your top layer, which is SPX and the NASDAQ, you take those two, but then you move down to the ETFs, you go down to SPY, you go down to Qs, you go down to, then you can use RUT and, IWM. So you get an idea and just a feel for what they're doing. And of course, you're always checking the VIX, and that if those things are all matching up, you can go to those individual names now and the charts go. A lot of traders have a I don't want to say a one-track mind, but I think they get caught up in the name and the chart of the name, whatever that is. It could be anything from Apple all the way down to, I don't know, pets.com in 2001 or whatever, 2000, whatever it is. They get so caught up in the chart that they miss the layers. So you need to have layers of trading, and it starts with the indexes, then move to the ETFs, check the VIX the whole time. VIX is your overlying denominator based upon all that, and then you move to your individual names. And that's why it's so important to do your homework ahead of time, so you understand the index, you understand where the index numbers could possibly go, and you understand which way to go with your multiple. If A, then we do B, which then leads to C, which, hopefully that's an easy one, but sometimes it's A goes to B plus C minus D minus E minus F plus, G equals A. So it's odd, but I'm trying to get you for new people to understand that the layers and knowing the lines of those layers are so important when it comes to the individual names. Qs though, just going to it, huge level here. Implied open is already up here. I think it'll probably open around 300. And that's being conservative. It might open at the all-time highs overnight. It might go to the all-time highs overnight. If it gets the all-time highs overnight, it'll be a pump fade, and it'll be pump first 10, 15 minutes, fade out of it. We'll play it accordingly. I'll put it in chat so everybody sees. And, I'm up at 4:30 every morning anyways, which is Central Time. So 5:30 Eastern. So you guys will surely see all my messages. Okay, so let's go to Big Mama. All right, Big Mama. So this is the chart that I drew and I posted to Twitter. But as you guys can see here, this is the old trend line right here before this daily candle. Closed twice now above the trend line. This is a big move. If Big Mama, I call Apple Big Mama. If Big Mama is above her trend line and the market is good overall, The market is not going down. Don't listen to any bears who think it's going down here at all. This, if it fails underneath it now, if it gets under 117, we'll call it, and stays, risk off. We're going back to, it's going to drop. It's a fake break. It'll probably drop to, 114-ish, and it may build up again and try to break it again down the line. So, but as long as this holds right here, Big Mama is moving. 125 is the target. It's a very weighted stock, so it's going to be very slow moving. I don't play options on it anymore after the split. I don't feel like it moves enough, but you're going to have 121. I mean, that's a big move right there. You're at 118.69, so you're sitting right above the trend line. All the buying conviction was at the top of this candle. I'll move in a little more so you guys can see it. Buying conviction both times at the top. This is huge. All the buyers are in control, and they're doing it above this area. So everybody's looking at this trend line going, that's a buy. And when that happens, Big Mama moves. So you're going to have a little resistance at 121.75, 120, we'll call it 123. And then the fib line here at 124.66. I'd actually recommend, if you want it, you can load up on Commons and enjoy the ride. All right. Let's go to the big money winner here last week. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you guys kind of how. There it is. So again, knowing your ETFs, right? When semis lead the market, it is a healthy, fun market. This gap up told me that it's time for the leaders to go. Which semis? The leader is NVIDIA. Without a doubt, it was. And I said, you know what? As long as this holds, as long as the semis are leading, all-time highs and beyond, and there seems to be no. I think it's all-time highs. I mean, I saw it on my So all-time highs and beyond, and this candle here tells you all you need to know. Buyers on the second half of the day, buyers on the first half of the day. I mean, there's no stopping it. I think this has a little more juice in it. I mean, if we really go hard tomorrow, we may bring it back on Tuesday. But this told me, the semiconductor ETF, this told me what I needed to know. The volume told me what I needed to know. Continuous buying off of this. And that's when I knew. And again, I'm teaching you guys here as we go through this. I'm not trying to be long-winded. I'm trying to teach as well. That told me, leader. Who's the leader of that? NVIDIA, strong. We started buying it. We bought it here. Sold it like, I want to say we sold it like right here, the 520s or 530s. I don't know exactly. There were so many plays, but there was a lot. And I was so hot on this the whole week. We made so much money, but the fun thing is we're not done. We're not done. We're still going to squeeze out of this. We still got to all-time highs. We still have 590 on tap. 590. Those 600s are going to be screaming if we open up at 590. It closed at 582. This thing could, if the market really wants to go, it could open up at 592, 593. Imagine that. Imagine that. Our 600s will be on fire. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. Here's your other scenario. It could pop. We're going to sell no matter what at the very beginning. Well, especially, we just take our gains and then we watch what happens, right? So depending on what happens here, you have this big level of support now that it's over with the conviction of the buyers above it on the daily. And it's like, it's going to be really hard, but where it's at, 573 below it is going to be your next area of interest in terms of, where it can go down to. I don't see it getting below 573 right here. If it does, you know, it's going to pretty much go to 557. If it does break this, please know, if it does break 575, know that we will be shorting the hell out of this. We'll be buying puts. We're going to scalp this thing about 10, 12 bucks. We're probably going to buy the 550s. If it's a Monday, if it's a Tuesday, probably the 550s. If it's Wednesday, we're probably going to, it's the same types of numbers. We're going to go up to the 565s, probably 560, somewhere in there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But know this, NVIDIA has one more. I think it has all-time highs in it. I think 590.06 and beyond. Personally, I think it gets to 600. I think it gets to 600 and runs out of gas, maybe 598. We will be out of it by then. We will look. Now, NVIDIA has a history of, if you come back and look, this is why it's important. We'll play both sides of this. Run up, run up, run up, run up, run up. What an epic run up here, right? In August. Epic, SoftBank, everybody, right? Immediately gap down on this sell-off, immediate gap down sell-off. It went down 120 points. Know that. Run up, run up, run up, run up, run up. You knew your level was the 382, we'll call it. Drops 20 points. Run up, run up, run up. Holds, holds, holds. Drops 25 points. So you see there's a history of NVIDIA. It doesn't just drop. It drops hard. Look at this run up. Run up, run up, run up, run up. Found the top. 20-point drop. 23-point drop. Run up, run up, run up. Ran up a couple days. This is just chop, but still 20 points. Ran up to here, and look what happened. 574. What was this? How many days later is it? It took it 17 days to drop what? 80 points. So there's always an opportunity with NVIDIA to get short after a big run up. I do think it pulls back. We'll play the puts on that. NVIDIA is one of my favorites to play. Surprised they haven't done a stock split yet, but maybe they need to get to 1,500 before they do that. All right, sticking with semis. So after NVIDIA goes, that means little sister goes, and that is AMD. Although not the weight that NVIDIA is, I told you guys before, I think it was last Sunday, I said, if this yellow box is just chop. If you want to get cute and you can find the top and you want to play some puts and you can find this and you're the goat and this and you can fine, do it. But what I said is this is all just noise. All of this is noise. It broke above and didn't hold and fall. So any break up to here again gives it that opportunity. And look where we're at. Lucky, 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 lucky. That little top. That box tells you that it's a buy. You may not get it. I'll be honest with you. Implied open right now is $87. 87. Wow, $87. Good news is you have the 88.72 before it comes back to earth. Now, if the market's really good, it'll hold, flag, maybe for a day or two, and then blast off back to all-time highs. I think 90's in effect for this. I think 90's a good number. Here's Psi 90, roughly. Psi 90 here. I would love to see it take out all-time highs here. That would be awesome if it could. But I think 90's good, 92, 94, and then we see. Sticking with chips. LRCX. I saw it the whole week, and this is just beautiful. I just wanted to show you guys in case you haven't seen it. That's just wow. Didn't play it. Only reason I didn't play it's on my do not play list after all this garbage. Had great earnings. Had great earnings. It fell off. but this is beautiful. I wish I would have caught it. I was so worried about, I was so involved with NVIDIA that, missed a what? 70, 80 point rally. Same point, but price would have been cheaper stock. Premium would have been better. But it is what it is. All right. Just going through all of the names I have here. Okay. Next is Shopify. My arch nemesis, Shopify. So my thesis is Shop is ready to go. Melly and Shop are in the same boat, different countries, same boat. Melly came and had monster earnings. Stock moved monster. After that, crazy. Well, Shop should follow. I highlighted the area of interest right here, so you guys can see. Shop has a 40 to 50 point day in it. The question is, what day is it going to be? Personally, I think it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. I'm very much looking to see if it's at 1058 at the open, if it's at 1060 at the open, and it can hold that level. If it just breaks up above it in the first 10, 15 minutes, it's probably a fade. It's probably going to come retest this breakout, and that's where we want to buy it. That's the plan. You have to play Shop a little bit tighter, a little bit safer because of the high premium cost and volatility that's involved with it, but it's the unreliability of Shop since October 12th, since September, I call it the big crash of September 2nd. You have to have a thesis, but you also have to have confirmation. I'm sorry, I was thinking of a word, but we want the break because it's not going to break and just keep going. No stock does that. No stock just break up, boom, and then just flies and doesn't do anything like that. That's not how it works. If I'm Shop, I'm probably getting up to 1080, maybe 1089 at the best, and then I'm coming back to retest this. If I think this is strong, I'll alert it. Maybe the 1100s on Monday. Maybe we get up 20, 30%, sell it, and then we can pop it back down. I don't know. Those are some of the things that I'm looking for on Shop, but I do think Shop has a 40 or 50 point day, and how great would that to be able to catch it? Wow. Just wow. That would just be amazing. One of my unfavorite common stocks to own, and one of my worst option plays, the one I probably lost the most money on in my lifetime, just because here's an example, you get Life and they tell you to screw off, and then you get Life and you run up, you're like, oh my God, we're about to go, and then they sell it off. And then you gap up one day and you're feeling good, has a good gap, and it doesn't go, and it fails. Like, oh, boom, gap up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got up to 285. Yeah. It went past, and it fails every single time. So Facebook had really good earnings, blew it out. They sold it off, just fine. You figure they're going to do that. But the point of interest on this was we're up here, flagged out, didn't fail. It failed underneath. And then reclaim the line is, what is that, 288, 289? Reclaim the line. We'll see how it goes. I think 300 is easily on deck. Those 300s we have should be on fire, especially if it's a gap up Monday. We're going to get out of those. You take your money on Facebook. If you look back at this, where's the extended other than, this, which is, everything looks like that. But even then it would fail you. Even then you think you're up, and you hold it. You think it's going to take one more leg and it fails. I don't like messing around with Facebook. So if he gives me money for it, I'm going to take it. Zoom has been no man's land. Played it for a put a couple times, did well, missed out rest of the week. Even though on the chart it looks clean, it looks good, but it's a matter of what happens with this VWAP here. If 508 gets taken out, it's going to run. It's got 20 points in it easy. I mean, at least, heck, now that I look at it, it might have 30 points in it, at least 20. And if it breaks this VWAP, we'll be alerting probably the 550s. Because I think, 20-point run up in a day or two, that those things will be absolutely on fire. So keep an eye out on Zoom. One of my favorite plays for this week, made a lot of money on it in August. Made a lot of money in March. Netflix. See, it's partially filled the gap already. Implied open will have it filling the gap. Gap ends at 55.22.67. 530 is a big number. Through 530 sees 550. So we may play it safe. I don't know yet, but I have a hunch I'm going to be aggressive early in the week. It'll give us enough time to adjust if things fail. But I think 550 hits. I think 550 is an easy number. Sorry, I'm yawning, everybody. I think 550 is easy. Some people are saying, back to 580 this week. I don't think it has that much juice in it. I don't think there's that much short. That many people short. I haven't looked at the float, but from what I'm seeing, this is just, some people, they got stopped out already. If you were down here, if you were shorting it up here, then okay, yeah, I could see those levels that you have. But looks good. I think it'll be a nice money maker for us. We might layer it. We might, if we catch it at 520, if it has an applied open out of that gap of 522, we might go 530 to start, along with the 540s and 550s. We might layer all three on and see how they do. So be ready to go right into Netflix and AMD. If we'll see what they say. The most famous artist formerly known as the most famous and fun stock in the world. This still holds true by IRA shares if it gets here. I don't think it ever will, but hey, you never say never. Again, it's in this huge triangle. I remember what I said maybe a couple weeks ago. I said the thing about these triangles is they could just keep going. You literally can just keep going and going, and that's why I'm not a big triangle guy. I mean, I use it, gives you an idea. If it breaks above this trend line, hey, we're good. But if it's, the thing about it sticking in a trend line triangle, it's just it just keeps going, and then it can just chop some more, and then this just extends more, and it chops some more, and then this extends, and then you just get to the point where you're like, okay, it's not really that anymore. It's just choppy. Really, it needs a break of 450. 444 is fine. It's just kind of in no man's land. That 5-to-1 split really weighed it down. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Got rejected there. I expect it to get rejected here. It'll probably just keep playing out. But you got to play it, because if you don't, and they announce that it's going to get into the SPX, which it should, that and Zoom, you kind of got to play them every week, because if that news comes, it's going to be 500 by the end of the day, or overnight, or whenever they decide that they want to say it to the world. We have the 470s currently for next week. We'll see how those go. Yeah, we'll see when we see. Expect 0 on that. GameStop, good name. So, I didn't want to just sit here and do beta tech all day. I also have to respect that some of you don't have $10,000, $12,000, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 portfolios where you can load up, 250 contracts or 218, whatever that number is for a retail buyer. You can't load up on that many, Netflix contracts at $5 a piece. So for the smaller accounts that I want to help build up, I want you guys to be successful, and don't think that you have to bet the farm on a NVIDIA call or put. and that's that. So I'll always do these smaller ones with longer dates on them and good prices. We got in the 1250 GME 11 November 20th for average of about 70 to 75 cents, somewhere in there. So $72. That's way better than 500 for smaller accounts, and it gives you time too, so you don't have to use a day trade on it. And that's really a big thing that I had to adjust to. Is I remember when I started that stupid day trade rule, but it took me a really long time because I'd make some big plays, but then I'd lose one, and I'm like, oh man, I don't have the capital, and this was years ago. I don't have the capital to keep moving that. So this looks really good. I mean, the VWAP's at 1246 on the daily. I think it approaches that. That's kind of my sell point. I'll probably get out of it once it hits that. Volume's good. Probably sell half at the 1250, and it'll probably pull back to 12, and then we'll see how. I mean, we have until here, so that gives you an idea. But I think we're up 20-some% right now. Looks good. Got time. I think it'll be a nice solid 80 to 100%, and it'll be a nice trade for a lot of people. Picked this one up off of unusual option activity on Cheddar Flow. I always watch the big dogs, see what they're doing, right? Take that off real quick so you guys can see. A lot of noise on that one. Yeah, let me pull this up. Come on. So not a big, I don't play this that often on an option standpoint. It's pretty slow. The OI on it is kind of low, but it picked up and in a big way, and there was some unusual option activity on it. And we kind of just followed it. See if I can pull it up and bring it over for you guys. Which you guys kind of see. Oops, you guys kind of see here. November 20th, 61 calls. This person bought a lot of them at different strikes. So interesting to see. What is that? 500,000 somewhere in there worth of these, DDs, and sometimes you do follow it. It's an oddball name, but you look at the chart and it's right there. It's ready to break it. I mean, that thing's ready to go. If you can get a little closer here. Had a little bit of a down day here. Tested it, failed, but it didn't fall 50% below that. It fell right there, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm interested to see this one. I'm not expecting a lot, but the thing is, if it goes, 65's on tap this week. I mean, it's right there. This circle can get, I created my own gap, but this circle can fill. And if you can see, there's a little gap here that got filled, but I don't know that there's much left. There's a small gap here and a small gap here. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Again, that's for, that's for smaller accounts that are with us. And I want to make sure that I'm respectful to you guys as well. All right, going back to Beta Tech now. Google, monster move. We didn't get really a part of it. The premiums were super pricey. We missed the gap up, and we could have got into it some more. But again, we were focused on NVIDIA, and it got choppy here last couple of days. And a lot of guys caught the very tail end of this move on the, let's see, on the 15-minute here. We'll go to 10. Yeah, a lot of people caught this here at the end of the day doing super lottos. Some people got to here that they missed it and they sold it right here. It's just choppy for me. This is hard. You have your gap up again. There you go. It's 9:10, 9:20. Yeah, into 9:30. So the first hour. And, it trends up, and it gets to, 1769 and fails and comes all the way down. And some people thought that maybe here, get long, but you didn't get much. Even on a lotto day, I mean, you got 10 points and it came back down. But this is where I know my buddies here, they were talking about, they were buying it in about right here and they got that big jump. I don't know. It was just choppy compared, you look at NVIDIA here, and we'll go to the 10-minute on NVIDIA. You're going to see a way different. I mean, look at this. Look at this, huh? Yikes. That, where's that? November 6th. It technically, it didn't gap down, but it sold off, reclaimed, and you were like, okay, well, that, it's whatever. See it? And then we bought it here once it took out this, and then look at the strength on the 10-minute chart. Look at that. I mean, there's not chop here. This is not chop. This is a just solid, beautiful buying line that you just ride up. And that's why I was focused more here, because it felt like it was just a better, I mean, same thing happened with Square. Look at that. It's a beautiful thing. Gap up after earnings, and just you rode the trend, and look, you just keep riding it. You just keep riding it. You got to 200, you figured 200 was the line. It came back, got you a little more. That to me is more reliable than what Google showed us. So that's why we didn't play it. But going back to Google, again, I'm trying to teach you guys here, so I'm not sorry if I'm being long-winded. I'll try to hurry through this because I know you guys want to see it for 9 hours. But I do like Google here. I like that it came back. I don't think we're going to get it there. I think we're going to get the implied open probably around 1782, 1783. I don't know if it's worth longing. You might long the stock and scalp it, but that was the idea. But if it's going to gap up, there's no reason it's going to be at all-time highs again. There's no reason. I think there's better plays than that. All right, last one here. Oh, there's two more. I'm sorry. Sea Limited, one of my favorite companies in the stock market. Just beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. 190 on tap. Pull my indicators back here. 190 comes here. You're at 188. 190 gets 194. I just, this is just beautiful. Sorry, that's my old. This is just beautiful. I think it's flagging. I expect a flag to 190. It's going to close here, and then Tuesday it should run even more. Those the 190s we have will be on fire. They should easily be 100 to 200%. Easily. Last one, TTD. That is a just absolutely monster move off earnings. Like, that is just wow. Wow. Interesting, though. Anything that moves like this, there's a back test of it at some point. I don't know if it's this week. I think it will be this week, later in the week. But just to make sure, this ran up. Look at this. This is a 2% day. It's up 2%. It ran 120 points in one day from the beginning of the week. The beginning of the week, it opened. What did it open at here? We'll call it, the low is 543. So it went from 543 to 847 in 1 week. That's a lot of juice. And my theory on these, and this is what I've seen over the years, things that run up like this come back. It's a very distinct, sharp pullback. It's 10 to 15 points at bear flags, boom, then it comes back down, finds itself, and it pops back up. And it might go beyond. But I'm personally playing the 750 puts. 750 is right around here. I do think that this right here is going to be a nice little, you can see the picture I took here, and it might give you a little better idea. The risk, you know, the RR is 2.59 on it. We entered it at 825. If you're doing commons and you were shorting it, we're going to do our options. So 786, if this gets to 786, the 750s are going to be on fire if it's Wednesday or Thursday. Just they're going to be absolutely on fire. But if this is Friday, they're going to end up worthless. So, and that's on the 4-hour chart. So interesting to see on that one. So that's it for this week. I'm sorry I was a little long-winded. I just wanted to make sure that I communicated to you guys and kind of, you know, taught you a little more so you can look at it yourself. Should be an awesome week. Again, thank you guys for joining us. I want to make sure that, you know, the money that you guys pay is well, you know, paid for. You get the value that you're looking for. You get the education you're looking for, and hopefully we're having fun too. And hopefully my rants are fun and you don't see, because that's what they're intended to be. Good luck. We will see you guys in the morning. And we're just a reminder, we're still giving 3-day trials away. So if you have people that are interested, they get it free for, you know, free 3 days. Check us out and see what we can do. All right, guys, good luck. We'll see you during the week. We'll see you in chat.